I'm back with another delicious Moran's Blackcurrant and Guinness jam recipe. Today I am making these addictively good jam crumble tarts. You're going to want to save this recipe. It's so tasty and really easy to make. As you can see from in front of me, we just need a handful of ingredients to make these delicious tarts. No fancy equipment needed, just a mixing bowl and a cupcake tin. Let's get started. Very simply, into my mixing bowl, I'm going to be adding in the flour, oats, sugar, melted butter, and 2 egg yolks. Very simply, what you want to do is just get in here with clean hands and rub this mixture together with your fingertips until you're left with a nice sandy crumble texture. You really only need to mix this for a couple of seconds and then this is what you are left with. You don't want to overmix it because the more you mix it, the more it'll just form into a dough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take about 3 tablespoons of this mix, this lovely crumble mix, out of the bowl, set that to one side, and we're going to use that for the crumble topping, and the remainder we will use to press into our cupcake tins. So I have prepared my cupcake tin here by just brushing it with melted butter and dusting it with flour. This will help pop out the tarts once they're baked. So next up, I'm just going to take my crumble mix here and I'm going to divide that between the cupcake tin cases and get ready to fill those up with that delicious jam and get them into the oven. Tart cases are now lined. Time to talk about our hero ingredient. This, of course, is the Moran's Blackcurrant and Guinness jam and just works so well in this recipe. You don't need too much of it. I would say even 1.5 tablespoons per tart case, and we're going to be topping that with that leftover crumble mix and getting those into the oven. But trust me, this is delicious. So my oven is set at 180, that's 160 fan Celsius. And all that's left to do is to take the remaining crumble mix that we kept back initially and just sprinkle this over the top of our tarts. You don't need to be too exact at this point. Again, it's just to create a nice little chunky crumble mix on top as it bakes. So again, as I said, my oven is preheating at 180 Celsius. That's 160 fan, and these little crumble tarts are going to pop into the center oven and they'll take in around 20 minutes to bake. These tarts smell so good. Look how gorgeous they are. Beautiful golden brown color on that crumble mix. The jam is kind of puffed up and is bubbling there. The most important thing to do now is to let this cool. The most important part of this recipe is to allow these to cool fully before you take them out of the tin. If you try to take them out at this point when they've just come out of the oven, they will just crumble and break on you, and especially now the jam is super hot, so you need to allow this to cool completely, okay? So once they're cold, get a sharp knife, you can run it around the edge of the tart and they will pop out, and at that stage, they'll be a lot easier to remove from the tin. This is the hardest part, waiting for them to cool. If you are in a rush, you can let them cool and pop them into the fridge. That way then obviously the butter and the pastry cools down and it leaves them a lot easier to take them out. But they will crumble and break on you at this point once they're still warm. So you do need patience, allow them to cool to room temperature, but trust me, it'll be worth the wait. And that's it, guys. That is my super tasty Blackcurrant and Guinness jam crumble tart recipe. Really easy to make, as you've seen, and no fancy equipment needed. And again, the star of the show is this delicious Moran's Blackcurrant and Guinness jam. If you are looking to get your hands on it, you can head on over to moransmegajam.ie, or the guys are tagged in this post and you can contact them directly. Happy baking, and if you do try these out at home, please do let us know.